how to make Anthony Martial great again. For cheap good quality football jerseys, retro jerseys and tracksuits, go over to www.jerseyfifa.com, a link will be left in the description, and use code ATLANTISFOOTBALL for 5% off. So I think it's fair to say that if Anthony Martial was a stock, he'd be in a bear market, which means that he is currently on a decline, but with any stock it can change trajectory and move into a bull market. If you don't know what those terms mean, it just means that his value as a player is in a decline, but we've invested our life savings into Martial. So how can we make Martial great again and bring him back to his 2020 best? So I'm going to analyse Martial from 3 different perspectives, kind of. The first will be from Manchester United's perspective, from Solskjaer particularly. The second will be from his agent's perspective, who will be more focused on what's best for Martial, rather than solely what's best for Manchester United. And the third perspective will be from other clubs who could potentially sign Martial. So from Solskjaer's perspective, the Martial situation is a sticky one. United have so many great attacking options that whilst Martial was a guaranteed starter just a year or so ago, now he's lucky if he even gets on the coach. Well, not really, there's plenty of seats. If we look at Solskjaer's first choice starting 11 in a 4-2-3-1, it's a back 4 with a double pivot in front, and then there's 4 positions that Martial could play in. Up front, Martial has Ronaldo, Greenwood and Cavani ahead of him. In the 2 wide attacking positions, Sancho, Greenwood, Rashford and Pogba, if he plays there at all, are ahead of him, and Martial isn't going to be used as a central attacking midfielder unless Solskjaer moves to a 2-striker system and pushes Martial up front alongside Ronaldo. If United start with Pogba, Fernandes and Sancho behind Ronaldo, Martial probably isn't even in Solskjaer's 3 subs from the bench, with Greenwood, Rashford and Cavani ahead of him, so we can see the problem that Martial faces. But what is Martial's best role in the side? Well, I prefer Martial as a centre forward, or at least as an attacker who moves into central goal scoring positions from the left flank. As a centre forward, Martial is a great deep lying forward, as he's very good at dropping off from the forward line to link the play. His interplay around the box is subtle and efficient, and he's an excellent finisher from the left side, opening up his body to slot the ball past the keeper, whilst also having poacher-like movement inside the box as well. He can play as an inside forward from the left flank, but I think he thrives in this position when United are playing against a side who they can counter-attack against, as this gives Martial space to run or dribble into, which is where he's at his best. Against a low block defensive unit, Martial often struggles and drifts through the game because he's far more of a goal scoring forward than a creative one, and the stats show this. Now I will first show Martial's stats from the past year before looking at his stats from the previous seasons. So over the past 365 days, his FBref reports show that when compared to every other attacking midfielder in Europe, Martial ranks in the 90th percentile or higher for non-penalty XG, touches in the penalty area, pass completion, and progressive passes received. However, his expected assist rate is low, ranking in the 26th percentile, and he significantly underperforms his non-penalty XG by 0.12 goals per 90, seeing him rank in the 51st percentile for non-penalty goals. So as we can see, based off Martial's last year of output, we can't consider him a top level player. However, let's compare that to some of his previous seasons. So in terms of goal scoring, Martial was at his best during the 2019-2020 season, scoring 0.58 non-penalty goals per 90 compared to just 0.24 last season. His highest expected assist rate by far came in 2017-2018 with 0.32, with his second best season for that metric being in 2019-2020 with 0.14 per 90, with him playing mostly as a centre forward that season, which does explain the drop off, but despite playing more as a left-sided attacker last season, he recorded just 0.12 expected assists per 90. So what we can see from these metrics is that Martial has dropped off, both in terms of his goal scoring and in terms of his chance creation, so it can't solely be blamed on him being used more as a left-sided attacker than a centre forward last season. Before I get into what I would do with Martial if I was Solskjaer, remember to download the Avali app, as I will be doing another live stream like I did this Monday, next Monday and the Monday after. On Monday, it's interactive so people can ask questions, so I had some really good conversations about Manchester United. People were asking me what I thought about Ronaldo in the side and how it would affect players like Greenwood and Martial. So if you want to ask questions and give your opinions, download the Avali app, and I'll be doing a live stream at 7 PM on Monday, so I'll put out a few reminders during the week, but make sure you download the app and join me at 7 PM on Monday. Instructions will be left in the description below. If I was Solskjaer, I would use Martial as a goal scoring attacker in whichever system is being played. This means that he can either play as a centre forward or as a left-sided attacker in a 4-2-3-1, but in possession in the final third, he will move into central goal scoring positions in the forward line, rather than fulfilling the role of a playmaker like Sancho or Pogba would, moving in between the lines in the half space. This would essentially mean that United would be playing a 2-2-4-2 in the attacking third, with Martial and Ronaldo playing as the front two. Martial could also be used as a wide forward in an out-and-out front two, either in a 4-4-2 diamond, a 4-2-2-2, or in a 5-2-3 as Solskjaer has used before. This role will allow Martial to drift over to the left-sided channel when the space is there, but also drop off from the forward line to link the attack, which will also allow Ronaldo to retain a higher position. So that's what I would do from a Manchester United point of view. But what if I was Martial's agent, looking out for the best for Martial individually? Well, I think the logical thing to do, if Martial cannot cement himself as a starter for United before the new year, is to push for a transfer. Now, Martial does have a contract at United until 2024, so I think United will see this as a good time to shift him on, particularly with the amount of depth they now have in attacking positions. I think Martial is probably worth around £60 million in this market, but his career is in a slight decline since falling out of the United first team, so I could see United being willing to allow him to leave for around £45 to £50 million, which is affordable for most top clubs. If Martial is to move, he needs to move somewhere where he will be a centre forward, or at least a wide forward in a system that will allow him to pick up central goal scoring positions. Now, the first club I would suggest for Martial is PSG, but this one would be at the end of the season. Now, this one is relying on Mbappe leaving next summer, which it looks like he will, but it's also relying on PSG not going out and getting someone like Haaland to replace him. If you are PSG and Haaland is out of the race, there aren't many obvious options, and I think Martial would fit their system very well, as he could be deployed ahead of Messi and Neymar playing as a centre forward in the system. He is French, he will be just 26, so he's not even in his prime yet, and he is versatile, able to play as a left-sided forward or in a centre forward position in a front two or as a sole striker, so this still seems to make perfect sense for both club and for player. But if PSG weren't interested, then I think Real Madrid should also be looking at him. Mbappe will likely go to Real Madrid, and if they don't get Haaland, they will need another attacker in that front line. Martial is perfect, as he's coming into the side and he can play on the left of a front three, with Benzema centrally and Mbappe on the right, with Mbappe and Martial playing as wide forwards, moving into central positions when Benzema drops off to link the attack. Martial could also be transitioned into a main centre forward and be the long-term Benzema replacement. Like the PSG move, I think Martial to Real Madrid makes a lot of sense for both parties. Before I get into the next club that should sign Martial, remember to check out the description after this video. Also remember to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as I've got some interesting videos coming out very soon. Another good option for Martial would be Bayern Munich, who haven't really reinforced that heavily over the past few seasons, and there are rumours that Sane could be potentially departing, and Martial would fit seamlessly into that Bayern side, offering versatility, able to play in a front two with Lewandowski, or as a left-sided attacker in a front three, and at around £50 million, he would be at an affordable price for Bayern Munich, whilst also being at the same level as Leroy Sané. There are plenty of other teams who should be looking at Martial, such as Chelsea, Juventus, the Milan clubs, potentially even Borussia Dortmund and even Tottenham and Arsenal. However, a move to the Emirates next season is unlikely, as I assume that Martial still wants to play Premier League football. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, remember to subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, give the video a like, download the Avali app and join me on Monday for the live stream, and go to the description to check out some of my other videos, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter for more content as well.